The Communist Party of Britain was founded in 1988, although the original Communist Party of Great Britain was founded in 1920. Their key aim is, as you would expect, to achieve a socialist Britain, in which the means of production, distribution and exchange are socially owned. They fielded 6 candidates in the 2010 general election, but intend to have 9 candidates standing this year. The last time we checked, they had 2,391 followers on Twitter. The party has one of the youngest candidates standing in this election, 18-year-old Laura Jane Rossington, who is standing in Plymouth, Sutton and Devonport. And their General Secretary, Rob Griffiths, joins us now. Welcome to the Daily Politics. What distinguishes your party from the myriad of other socialist parties, the Socialist Party of Great Britain, the Socialist Labour Party, Left Unity, the Alliance for Green Socialism, for example?
Well, firstly, the fact that we have been around since 1920. We are the inheritors of the original communist tradition. And I think over those decades, we've displayed a certain consistency in terms of a whole number of very important policy issues. For example, the Communist Party has long favoured parliaments for Wales and Scotland in a federal Britain. Our opposition to the European Union from the very beginning, the original common market, our opposition to NATO, imperialist wars. I think this again sets us apart from many of the other left groups whom we work with on lots of issues, but we're also part of the international communist movement, which is very important.
How many party members do you have?
We have just over 1,000.
Right. Do you think people still realise there is a Communist Party going?
Well, hopefully a few more will do so after this after this programme. But yes, I mean, most people have heard of the word communism, even if they have all sorts of weird and wonderful ideas about what it is.
Right, and that you're still fielding candidates, obviously, in general elections. You criticise the Labour Party for being dominated by its right-wing parliamentary leadership. So presumably you're not a fan of Ed Miliband, then?
Well, I think he's an improvement on their most recent leaders. But I'm afraid all of the Labour Party grovelling to big business, of course, has just led to the kick in the teeth that we saw them have from business leaders just yesterday.
No, but you have more in common with Ed Miliband than you did perhaps with Tony Blair, for example, or Gordon Brown.
I think some of the positions that Ed Miliband has come out with in terms of employment rights and abolishing the bedroom tax and so on, we would certainly agree with that, although we would obviously wish to go a lot further.
But you would agree there is some common ground, as you say, but you're going to be fielding candidates in 9 constituencies and 6 of them are against incumbent Labour MPs. So to some extent you're threatening losing a Labour MP in those areas where a Conservative or a Liberal Democrat, but more likely a Conservative in those particular constituencies could come in, and you'll lose any of the policies that you've just mentioned.
Well, I think you'll find in almost all of those seats they're fairly safe Labour seats. We do calculate this. We don't want to have an intervention that would lose a Labour seat to the Conservatives, but we have a message that's quite distinct from the Labour message.
But you're standing where you have no threat, obviously, then, as you've just admitted.
There are a number of factors. One, we would not wish to jeopardise a Labour victory, but secondly, of course, we stand in areas as well where we have very active branches and plenty of members and supporters.
I mean, you're putting up candidates in this parliamentary election, but does your party, the Communist Party of Britain, think parliamentary democracy is the best system of governance? Well,
the Communist Party has been standing in elections since shortly after its formation in 1920, and of course from time to time we've had MPs and hundreds of councillors, in fact. Clearly we prefer parliamentary democracy to fascism, but we think it's an incomplete democracy. It's not. What
about the dictatorship of the proletariat?
Well, that's a term, of course, associated with a particular historical period and with particular countries. In Britain, what we talk about is working class and popular power. We think that the power should be in the hands of the people. Wealth should be in the hands of the people, and certainly we wouldn't abolish elections and we wouldn't abolish parliaments should we ever come to power. But we think our democracy is very incomplete and it's corrupted by the enormous influence of big business.
Peter Hennessy, just briefly, do you think that negative connotations for most people of communism, despite what we've just heard from Rob Griffiths?
Yes, I think in many ways, because when we were young, I was young, you were associated with the Soviet Union, which wasn't just a country for you, it was a cause. And I'm interested now, Rob, but where would you point to as the exemplary society? If somebody said to me, show me socialism in practice, real-life socialism, where would it be that would fit something of your prescriptions?
You've
for a
only got
society
time to
like
name
that?
one country, I'm afraid.
Well, in the third world, of course, Cuba has an outstanding record when it comes to health, education, basic social provision and so on,
But it's a
cultural
tyranny,
life
Rob.
and so on.
It's a
well,
tyranny.
it's not a tyranny.
Yes, it is a tyranny.
I mean, Cuba, unlike most of
All
the
right.
third world countries
Okay.
where we supported military dictatorships, Cuba is a country where people have extensive
Thank you.
rights.